Update. I kicked my adopted son out of my house. I think I will just cut my losses. Original post. I, 39 male, married my wife, 39 female, 16 years ago. She had a 2-year-old. The father unknown. I adopted him and he is the star in my world. I would do anything for him. He always knew he is not biologically mine. When he was 15, he started acting strange towards me. He was colder and acting out towards me. I thought it was just teenage phase. But then I found out that my wife told him who his bio father is. He even met him a couple of times. I was angry at my wife. She lied to me and then told him behind my back. The trust was gone and I filed for divorce. She moved out and my son stayed. He started hanging out with his bio father more and more and he didn't want to do anything with me. I suggested therapy but he turned that down. Come today, my family organized a late graduation party for my son last Saturday. My ex and her family were invited too. When the day came, he just didn't come. I was angry. Then my niece showed me on Instagram another party that my ex's family organized. They were all there, including bio dad and his family. My heart broke and my family consoled me all day. I had enough. Next day, when my son got up, I called him to the kitchen and told him I'm done. I told him to pack his bags and get out. He was freaking out. Begged to stay, but I stood my ground. He moved to my ex's parents. I got a lot of calls from my ex, her family and bio dad about how devastated he is. Now I feel bad. I still love him but my heart is broken by his rejection. Today, he and my ex came to my house to talk. He apologized profusely and repeated over and over again that he loves me. I told him how hurt I am about how he treated me last 3 years. I was basically an ATM to him, and it hurt a lot. Then I asked them to walk me through how it all started with bio dad. My ex immediately responded that this is not my business anymore. I said okay, and asked them to leave. My son cried and told me that he needs money for college. I was supposed to pay for everything. I told him that I lost all the trust and feel that they want to use me one last time and when college is over, they will drop me forever. I said that I must think things through and will let them know how I want to continue this relationship, if at all. They left. I think I want to cut my losses and try to heal. But I still love him very much, and I know I'm jeopardizing his future. I cried all my tears out, and I feel like a horrible person. Now for the top advice before reading the update. Wow, rough situation all around. I could forgive a 15-year-old for having conflicting and complex emotions here and obviously struggling with how to handle them. Seems that your ex played a big part in these issues too. From introducing him to his bio dad behind your back to scheduling a graduation party for him on the same day that you and your family had. I feel for the kid. Sounds like his mom has done a lot to mess with his emotions. But he lost me at my son cried and told me that he needs money for college. Seems like if having you in his life was that important, he wouldn't have brought up the money so quickly. He can take out loans like everyone else. And if he truly wants you in his life, he can continue making that attempt. If one day you feel like the relationship has been mended, you're even free to help pay off his loans if you like. But it shouldn't be about the money. You shouldn't need to buy his affection. It sounds like he's more upset about the college money than he is about losing his relationship, what little there was left, with you. You're not a horrible person and I don't think you should pay for his college. The kid reminds me of my half-brother. My dad had enough of his behavior and sent him to live with his mom. Then something like this happened to him and essentially thought my dad was his ATM. Now he's near 40 and still seems to think that my dad is his meal ticket. Dad went no contact with him and I'm happy I don't need to hear his manipulative nonsense again. I think bio dad and his mom should start thinking about how they will be paying for his college. How convenient for her to pick and choose what is and isn't your business. Truly convenient. I don't normally comment on posts, but this really angers me. In my opinion, she's the real a-hole here. I bet she's done a lot to alienate her son's relationship with his stepdad to his detriment. Poor kid. Now for the update. I met with my son only 3 days after my last post. I wanted to have a conversation with just him. I asked him what's going on and what he told me completely broke me. He told me he met his bio father even before he was 15. About 5 years before. He went regularly with her mother and he really liked him. When he turned 15, they told him he was his bio dad. They also asked him to not tell me. He was so happy that he knows his bio dad that he had no problems to do as they asked him. Sometime later, they then told him that they are in a relationship for some time now and that they love each other. My ex intended to divorce me, but it was not the right time to do so yet, because she was not financially ready yet. I saw how happy she was with him, so he approved of this. But then I found out about his bio dad. He was angry at me for divorcing his mother because she was not ready yet. He only stayed with me because I was closer to school and friends. I was more financially stable too and would pay for his college. And my ex approved this. I was not surprised, but still I was stunned with this info. I asked him how he sees us moving forward, and this is where a big bombshell came. He told me his dad will take a loan to pay for his college. I showed him that my love is conditional and he doesn't want anything to do with me anymore. That his dad and mom are getting married and he will be dad's best man. He intends to change his last name to his dad's. I was crying by this point and told him I will respect his wishes. He left. Forever. My life is at absolute low point right now. My family's devastated, but they are really there for me. I'm very grateful to them. I am very depressed and consuming way too much alcohol. I know it's not smart and intend to stop. It will take a long time to recover and I'm searching for a therapist. That's the update. I hope I will be able to move on and living my life again. Thanks everyone for your support. I really appreciate it. I don't care what anybody says, but you were betrayed both by your ex and her son. Him being young is not excusable for his despicable behavior. He was also taking advantage of Opie's weakness for him and was only after his money. Opie did the right thing to remove the cancer out of his life. Opie taught his son a very valuable life lesson that he would never learn at school or colleges. That in life, you make choices. And with every choice, it would lead down a different path. And each path have consequences. And you have to face those consequences. Adopted son chose his bio dad over his adopted father and was rightfully shown the door. And on top of all that, let's mention that Opie's wife was having an affair with bio dad for years during their marriage. And the son knew too. Holy hell. Opie wasn't just betrayed. He was being used the entire time. He was nothing but a tool of convenience for both of them. Right. I've been teaching my nephews that over and over again. Pretty much is the same lesson I will teach to my child when the day comes as well. We all have choices, and we sometimes know what the outcome will be, including the consequences of the said choice later on. Everything has pros and cons, and you just have to be ready for both. Son just made a choice, and it seems him and the ex-wife wasn't ready for the consequences, which is Opie eventually cutting them off well before they can use him for financial gain. 16 years is no joke, but you gotta do what you need to do. And, well, that's what Opie did. I honestly blame the mom here. The deception and using the child as a pawn in this larger game is pretty messed up behavior. Nah, that son was horrible from the very beginning. It wasn't just his mom. That kid kept that secret for almost a majority of his life and knew his adopted dad was getting cheated on. He never cared for this man at all. Screw that kid, that mom and everyone in that family. I wish nothing but the worst for them. It wasn't that you taught him that your love is conditional. It's that you taught him that actions have consequences and he just doesn't like being held accountable for his role in this situation. Next story. In the middle of my wedding planning, I managed to alienate both my adoptive and bio family. I am now all alone and I am crushed. Original post. I, 27 male, was adopted when I was 1 year old. My adoptive parents had 2 more bio kids, 23 male and 21 female. I never felt I was fully part of the family. I think my siblings always gotten more and better gifts than me, and more affection. I complained to my parents, but they always said they love me equally. But that never made me feel better. I feel like I was a nephew, if you know what I mean. When I was 23, I decided to search for my bio parents. When I found them, they explained to me that they were too young, 16 and 17, to take care of me, so they gave up. They never had another child. We clicked instantly, and I felt very accepted. Even bio extended family are very loving, nice people. I started going to events and holidays with them, and I love them very much. My adoptive parents always complain that I don't want to spend any time with them, but I think that they got 23 years of me, and it's nice that I give my bio family some time too, as we missed so much. I will get married next year. Me and my fiancé discussed sitting for our families, and I expressed my desire to have my bio mom and dad by my side. She told me to discuss this with my adoptive parents as she doesn't want any drama at the wedding. So I did. My family totally flipped out. My mom had a breakdown about how I replaced them when they did so much for me. My siblings cussed me out, and my dad just sat and cried. I was very upset and told them that I was never accepted in this family like I was in my bio family, and that my decision is final. Mom demanded that they sit by me or they will not come. I said no problem. They are disinvited then, and I stormed out. All adoptive families on me right now. how cruel and horrible son I am. My fiancé told me that I should reconsider because they did raise me and make me the person I am today. I don't know. I still love them, but they hurt me a lot. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments before reading the update. Info, can you provide specific examples about this unequal treatment you talk about growing up? Like your siblings getting better gifts, can you give an example? Because if your adoptive parents actually treated you as less than their biological kids, that's pretty significant. But it's definitely possible that they treated you equally and you just internalized a lot of these feelings. And if so, then I could easily understand your adoptive parents feeling bad that after raising you for all these years, they would get pushed aside by the biological parents you only met a few years ago. So ultimately, the specifics matter a lot. In a comment, he mentions bio family is paying for his honeymoon, which seems kinda suspect. You're the a-hole. In this case, you haven't actually given any evidence to show that you were treated badly. By all accounts, you weren't. You were just in your feelings. You refer to them as adoptive parents and not your actual parents who raised you. They spent blood, sweat, and tears for almost 23 years. They considered you their kid. And just because you were in your feels, you opted to try and replace them with people who, if I'm not mistaken, never once tried to reach out to you in your 23 years of life. Think about it. Yes, they were young, but have you ever questioned why they never tried to find or get in contact with you? Maybe they have, but it doesn't seem like it. It's your wedding to do what you want. However, you've definitely disrespected your parents, the people that raised you even though they aren't related to you by blood. You still have a lot of growing up to do. Right? Doesn't every kid pretty much feel like their siblings was favored? The lack of actual examples stands out. Pretty much. You see bio siblings post on Reddit all the time about the other one being the golden child. But wow, OP, that's a huge slap to the family that raised you for 23 years. It's easy to jump in when you're an adult and give you gifts and praise. But your bio parents weren't there when you were sick, pooping in diapers, having nightmares, needing help with homework. People focus way too much on blood over family. You're the a-hole. My adoptive parents always complain that I don't want to spend any time with them. I think that they got 23 years with me. Yeah. They spent 23 years with you making sure you had a roof over your head, making sure you had clothes on your back, making sure you had food in your stomach, making sure you had warm hugs and support when you needed it. Barring some serious neglect and abuse, try and remember that they were the ones that spent the last 23 years or more sacrificing to make sure you were well cared for. They put in the work to raise you and help you become the man you are today. Maybe they did mess up and didn't get everything right. Maybe they genuinely did treat your siblings different, but my guess is they didn't mean to, based on their belief that it was equal. Parenting is hard, and while yes, it's the parents' responsibility to take on that hardship and do their best not to make mistakes, mistakes will happen. It doesn't sound like any of those mistakes were blatantly harmful or damaging enough to take away from all the things they got, right? Or surely you would have stated that. I don't think there's anything wrong with you getting to know your bio family, but don't forget to put in all the time, work, and sacrifice as your actual parents. You're the a-hole, unless there are major context points missing. Now for the update. I don't even know what is going on here. I posted on another sub yesterday and I was deemed as huge ungrateful spoiled brat. Maybe I am. So while planning the wedding with my fiancé, I, 27 male, decided that my bio family will sit by my side. I made contact 4 years ago and our relationship built up really fast. For all my life, I didn't feel fully accepted by my adoptive family. My feelings were always dismissed as unreasonable. My parents always claimed they loved us all equal, but I just felt the difference. It's hard to explain. I did went to therapy because I shut down and went cold when I was 12. It helped a little and I opened up and voiced my feelings. They were never accepted as valid. All that changed when I met my bio family. I felt fully accepted. Or so I thought. After I told my adoptive family that my bio family will sit by my side, they had a meltdown. And in the heat of moment, I disinvited them from the wedding. I know that was wrong and feel terrible. It's almost a week from the incident and we still don't talk, and it's killing me. Yesterday, after being blasted in another sub, I decided I will test the waters with my bio family. Today I went to their place. While discussing the wedding, I told them that they will sit close to me but my adoptive family will be by my side. Everything went quiet for a moment. And then my bio mother told me that they kinda hoped they will get that place. They think that our relationship progressed very well, and they thought I came around and see that they are my real family. Plus, they are paying for the wedding. My heart dropped. They never expressed this to me before, and I told them that I already have a real family, and that will never change. We can be very close, but I will always have one mom and dad. I still call my bio parents by their name. I saw that bio mother was on the verge of tears. My bio father then asked me to leave and that they don't feel comfortable paying for the wedding anymore. I am devastated. I don't know what is going on. It took one wedding and I lost both my families. I still have my fiancé, but this is the ultimate rejection. I don't even know how to recover from this. My fiancé told me she always thought that something was off with my bio family, but she never voiced her opinion. I want to reconcile with my adoptive family, but they probably see like they are a second option now. I don't know how to start. Go to their place? Message them first? I don't know what to say. Will they even respond? I'm such an idiot, and I feel like I will be all alone at my wedding now. Time to pay for your own wedding so nobody other than you can have a say in what your wedding looks like. I also can't imagine they'd be civil with each other anyways. Yes, it was dumb casting your adoptive parents aside for people who haven't been in your life for the majority of it. Time to profusely apologize, make up your mind, and figure out a civilized decision. If I was you, I'd just make 2 separate dinners as a celebration with both sets of parents, because this will only blow up more. I read your original post in AITA, and you left out that your bio family was paying for your wedding. You still come off poorly. Your original post came off that at 18 you blew off your adoptive family to replace them with your bio family and rubbed their noses in it. Then were shocked by their hurt. Now you want to rekindle that and downgrade your bio family and are shocked they're hurt? You tried to play both sides here and got rightfully burned. My advice is to take time to reflect on what kind of relationship you want here, and what your part is and how those relationships are, not just what you get out of them. Am I the a-hole for getting my boyfriend arrested? I'll just get straight to it. I'm a college student and this is my last semester until medical school. I've never been able to get a loan, so I've worked 5.5 years to get this degree because I have to pay out of pocket, so it takes way longer. I've worked 2, sometimes 3 jobs at a time and barely had a social life. For this upcoming semester, I reached my goal for tuition, so I quit one of my jobs so I could relax a bit. I was a server/bartender at 2 bars, and had an office job, so I always have cash hidden in my apartment in my closet in a box. And before the semester starts a week or 2 before, I deposit it so I can pay my tuition. My boyfriend sometimes stays over while I'm there or when I'm not. Since I've been saving for the semester, he's the only one who's been over. I've never told him about the box, but he knows I have to pay for school. Well, yesterday night, I got home to put money in the box because I was gonna deposit it today and it's all gone. I freaked out and tore my apartment up, thinking I put it somewhere else knowing I didn't. I called my boyfriend like crazy. No answer. I didn't sleep last night as I was panicking. Then this morning he finally calls me back. I'm yelling at him about my money and is acting all confused and like I'm crazy. He comes over and I'm still angry. After a while, he finally admits he took it so he can borrow and that he'll pay me back. Where the heck is he gonna get $14,000 from in 2 weeks? I went into a rage and called the police and reported a theft because that is what he did. Well, it's been hours now, and I guess he got his phone called because his family has been blowing my phone up, and his mother has said some really hurtful and racist things to me. They've been harassing me for the past 6 hours now. It is stressing me out even more, and I hate that I'm feeling bad for him. But he stole my money that I've been saving for months. His brother did call and he was respectful and said they'll help him pay it back, and I should just go to the police station with him and tell them I want to drop the charges. But I really don't believe them. I could do that and never get my money back still. I don't know what to do, and I hate that I'm contemplating doing this. I'm just really angry and have been crying all freaking day. Now for the top comments. Do not drop the charges. $14,000 is a huge amount of money. His family are lying. They are not going to pay you back. Your boyfriend's first response was to lie. He only admitted a theft afterwards. They will take off and run, and you'll never see him or any of them ever again. Why would you drop the charges? He stole from you. He deserves to go to prison. Also, if you do drop the charges, it's possible that any insurance you have will be nullified. You might be able to borrow money from somewhere, but they would need to see evidence of your ability to save money. You'll need a police report number as part of this application. If his family are banging on about paying the money back, tell them that they can sell one of their cars ASAP and pay you back, as courts usually charge interest on money judgments. Not stay home. Not stay home. Break up. Press charges. Get your money. Stop keeping $14,000 in cash in your closet. I'm not saying she deserves it. She clearly doesn't. But it seems like an unnecessary risk with no upside. Not stay home. Very sorry that happened to you. You could tell them you'll drop the charges as soon as you get your $14,000 back. And then don't drop the charges. Just block them all and move on. Do not drop the charges. He stole from you and you have no guarantee that the money will come back. If his family really want to help, they can pay the money back to you so they can tell the judge he has made restitution for a better sentence. The trust in this relationship has gone out the door and it is over. Block his family on your phone. You do not need their abuse. Before you do, if you have any messages from them, save them and ask the police for an apprehended violence order to prevent them from mistreating and threatening you. This. OP, please pay attention to this. Also, I'm so sorry this happened to you. In addition to dealing with the police, etc., reach out to the administration at your school and let them know what happened. Hopefully, they'll be compassionate. And at the very least, defer your tuition payment date so you can start classes as planned without paying late fees on your tuition. Who knows, maybe there are scholarship dollars or a bursary they can help you out with. Also, I am so incredibly proud of you. Working your way through school like that is not easy. And you did it. I've already made an appointment with my advisor and financial aid for Monday. I'm hoping they don't drop my classes. Thank you for the kind words. It's been hard, but I know the end result will be worth it. Next story. Am I the a-hole for calling my ex-wife spiteful, selfish jerk after she tried to convince me to sell our late son's apartment? I'm 54 male, my ex-wife is 52 female. We have been divorced for over 15 years. We had a son together, Michael, who passed away this May at 22 years old. He was a firefighter and died at a job. Michael's girlfriend, Ilhan, is 21 female and is pregnant, due in October. Her very conservative parents kicked her out for getting pregnant outside of their religion. My ex was never fond of Ilhan and very reluctantly agreed to share the cost of an apartment with me when I said we should help them out with a deposit and the first few payments for their own place. This was just weeks before Michael died. Ilhan stayed in the apartment after his death. I told her already I'd help out in any way I can. My ex approached me a few weeks ago and asked me to sell the apartment and get our money back. I told her Ilhan really needs it and deserves our help. We both have more than enough money. My ex asked me to sell many times in the past few weeks. Last week, we got into a fight about Michael's estate. She wants to sue Ilhan because she doesn't think she should get anything. She again asked me to sell the apartment. It's still in both our names. I told her I'll just pay her for her share of the apartment and let that be. She gets her money then. But she said she doesn't think Ilhan should have the apartment. I told her she's a spiteful and selfish a-hole who cares about the money, and not her daughter-in-law and grandkid who literally will never know his dad. She cried, called me an a-hole, and said I am insensitive about her loss. Not the a-hole. Morally, and I'd imagine legally, Michael's unborn child is entitled to Michael's estate over anyone else. The estate, yes, but the apartment is in my ex's name, so it's not part of the estate. Morally, it 100% belongs to Ilhan and the baby. Not stay home at all. You even offered to buy your ex out so you can protect your daughter-in-law and grandchild. If your ex doesn't take you up on that, it will be fairly obvious that is not actually about the money, but about your ex's prejudice towards Ilhan. Hasn't Ilhan been through enough? Kicked out of her family, lost her partner while she's pregnant. Now your ex wants her to be homeless? That's messed up. You are a wonderful father, and you are honoring your son's memory by helping out Ilhan. Not Day-hole in any way, shape, or form. I'm so sorry for your loss. I really hope that having Ilhan and your grandchild in your life will be a healing presence for you. Thank you. She's an amazing young woman, and I'm sure will be an exceptional mom to a lucky little one. And you, sir, will be a great grandfather to your grandson. He will grow up knowing that his grandfather will always have his back and protect him and his mother. He will love you and look up to you. Not Day-hole, brother. Your ex is either really going through it rough or they're truly awful. I hope it's the first one. I got no context for losing an adult child, but my intuition is that if I lost someone like that from my life, and the person they loved can still be in my life, I would take that opportunity all day and twice on Sundays. I would cherish it. Losing Michael was by far the worst experience of my life, and I can say with complete certainty that nothing will ever come close. Having Ilhan here, having had her support through this time, has been life-saving. And knowing that in a few months, A little bit of my Michael will come back to life. Makes me completely smitten. Next story is titled, Am I the a-hole for refusing to put my fiancé on the house title after he kept handing me empty pens as a prank? I, female 34, have been with my fiancé, male 37, for 3 years. Getting married before the end of this year and recently moved in the house that I inherited from my mom. The house is in my name, and it took a lot of talking and convincing from him to have his name on the title as well. Now, honestly, part of me doesn't think this is a good idea, at least not right now. Maybe after marriage? But anyway, I've decided to go ahead and put his name on the title so he could go ahead and start contributing towards mortgage more and lighten my burden a little bit. We've made appointments, decided on which form of ownership we were basing this on. When it was time for me to sign the deed, my fiancé stopped me and gave me a pen saying this pen was his lucky pen and told me to use it to sign the deed. I took it and tried to sign, but turned out it was empty. He was like, "Oh, I must have forgotten," while laughing, and then pulled out his other lucky pen. I took it, tried to sign, and that one too was empty. Honestly, seeing how he was laughing, I figured he was messing with me, but he swore he wasn't, and pulled out another one of his lucky pens. I tried that one too, and it was empty. My fiancé started cackling, and I felt humiliated, especially with how the gentleman next to him was staring. I got angry and asked him what that was about, and he said it was a prank. I asked, "Really? Did you really think this was a time for pranks?" He was like, "It's all right. You can use a real pen now." I pushed the paper away and said, "You know what? Never mind, because I no longer want you on the deed." He lost it completely, saying we had a deal and I can't back out of it just like that, and that it was a stupid joke that I took too seriously. We had an argument and I refused to sign the deed, at least not then and there. At home, he blew up again, saying I was the one who delayed the process, and that he already gave me a real pen and all I had to do was sign the damn paper and get it over with. He accused me of looking for an excuse not to have him on the deed, and started a silent treatment saying there's nothing to say till those papers are signed. Did I really take this too seriously? Now for the top comments. Not today, home. Red flags all over. 1. He pressured you into putting him on a deed? That's weird unless he has selfish motives. My husband literally suggested he not be on the title to my car to maybe help with the insurance costs. Because we're gonna be married anyway. Why does it matter? 2. He is very immature. You don't behave like that at a serious time like that. He wasted everyone's time. 3. He blew up at you for correctly chastising him instead of acknowledging his own fault and apologizing. 4. He's giving you the silent treatment, which is an extremely toxic thing in relationships, and yet again immature. 5. He's more interested in getting access to your property than how you felt in the situation. Hun, I implore you to not put him on the deed. And depending on if this behavior is normal for him, I'd give a long and hard thought on if this is really what you want for your future. Not to mention that he went out of his way to humiliate and belittle her publicly when it came time to signing. It wasn't just a prank. It was an extremely petty way for him to try and assert power over her and make her look and feel like the lesser person in the arrangement when she is, in fact, the opposite. This reminded me of my paternal grandfather. He would pull crap like this and act like it was funny. He was also an abusive a-hole to my grandmother, physically and verbally. He was always belittling her and treating her like she was stupid. She was miserable until she ended up in a nursing home after breaking her arm. She refused to cooperate with physical therapy because then she couldn't go home. She literally was happier there than living with him. Hope you don't end up like my grandma. Not the a-hole. You're the a-hole to yourself. He's gonna take half of your house when you break up. Don't do it. Agree. It's like you have a safe full of money in your house and he's asking you to hand over half. You're not even married and this was yours alone before you being a couple. This is not something you built together. It's yours. Don't do it. Yep, they shouldn't be signing a deed. They should be signing a prenup that says the house is hers and maybe they will share in any appreciation, since he will be financially invested. Now for the last story. Am I the a-hole for not wanting to financially contribute to my boyfriend's home repairs even though I live with him? I, 25 female, live with my boyfriend, 28 male. I'm in grad school and work from home full-time. He works full-time. I make $60,000 a year. He makes $200,000 a year. We split bills 70-30. 20% of my income goes to paying for grad school since I have a bartending side gig that I use to cover the expenses of it. We moved in together into an apartment that we both chose, and things were fine. But then when the housing market started getting really bad, he got anxious about not having property in his name and bought one. I didn't really care since we're not married and he can do whatever he wants with his money. Forward a few months and our lease is ending and he waits until 3 days before to tell me we have to move out. They already leased our units because he didn't renew the lease, and we move into the townhouse he bought. I'm an avid DIYer, and my mom is a general contractor and previously an architectural engineer, so I've done tons of home improvement jobs at my mom's house and my childhood home on my own. Kitchen, bathroom, backyard, flooring renovations, etc. My boyfriend is now upset because I told him that not only will I not do any of that at his place, that is only in his name as it should be, I also won't financially contribute to renovations. It would be different if there was structural damage or things in need of fixing, but he just wants updates because the townhouse has all of the early 90s finishes. I have enough on my plate right now with both jobs, grad school, and hella debt. I'm not going to play Bob the Builder in my small amount of downtime, especially when I will never profit from it. He said I'm selfish, I don't care about him and has been acting weird since. Am I the a-hole? Edit. We split all bills 70-30. I pay 30% of every single bill, including mortgage, HOA, and property taxes, outside of grocery and pet care, which I pay 100% of. This doesn't include our personal bills such as car payments, /insurance, /health insurance, etc. I did consider marriage and a future together before the surprise move. Now I'm not as sure. I've told him that, and before we ever closed on a property, we discussed that I would not have anything to do with the rehab projects outside of recommending contractors and materials because I have too much on my plate. Half of his work time is spent golfing to network. I think this is the perfect time for him to learn a new skill himself. I didn't have a say in the location, style, edge, anything regarding the townhouse. I don't consider it ours in any way, shape, or form. It's in a city where I'm an extreme minority, and I've already made it clear that I'm not willing to live here more than 2 years. Not stay home. He sprung a move on you with 3 days' notice? He's asking you to financially contribute to a property you don't have any stake in? He's calling you selfish when he makes triple your salary and you're in school and working full-time. Be careful, OP. Yeah, I've told my mom everything so that she knows if I ask for money to move out in the case of an emergency, we have a plan set up. I don't know. Ever since the last minute move out, I haven't trusted him very much. He claims he just forgot to renew the lease, and with the price hike our apartment did, it only made sense to move. I agreed at the moment because I didn't want to think about it and had exams, and it does save us both more money. But I would never agree to live with a man on a property they own in any other case. He claims he just forgot to renew the lease, but also was simultaneously purchasing a condo at the same time he was forgetting to renew the lease, and never once mentioned finding a lender, tracking down all his pay stubs for pre-approval, touring houses, putting in an offer, or scheduling an inspection. Girl, your mistrust is well placed. I don't know what his endgame is here, other than assuming he had a built-in free contractor, but I'm side-eyeing him hard. Not stay home. You have a ton on your plate already. And to be honest, it's his place. He could tell you to leave tomorrow and you'd be out the money and the work. Exactly. That's why I refuse to. With my mom's properties, it's different. I'm her only child and they'll be mine one day no matter what. And if we break up, I have a place to go live rent-free. But if I helped to the percent that he wanted, I wouldn't even be able to save any money. It would literally leave me with less than $250 a month to spend.